Right, so Biden's been saying for years that the US and Israel are one unit, which is what I've been saying in my videos. So here's a quick one. Let's just listen to this for a minute.
That Israel is the single greatest strength America has in the Middle East.
Right, so that's the point I was making in a previous video and many other videos. So, and there's the thing that I think is being forgotten in this discussion of tribal, pro-Israel, pro-Palestinian antagonism and fighting, literally fighting on the streets. Some of them being killed, like a 6-year-old Palestinian American in Chicago. Everyone's forgotten about him, which is disgusting in my opinion. There was a older man, provocateur, at a pro-Palestine rally, got killed in violence. But yeah, if you're a provocateur, you like arguing with people, I don't think it's on the same level as an innocent Muslim boy in Chicago, 6-year-old boy, right? So still, let's hope there's no more deaths from all of this. In America, there's going to be many more deaths in Israel and Palestine, as I've said in other videos. This is a quagmire. So, and the point that Biden is making is that I've made in many videos and statements that Israel is not an independent country. He said it himself, and we know this. Everybody knows this. So the point that should be everyone talking or everyone posting, or rather writing articles or talking about this on TV or anywhere, should be saying, don't forget, Israel is totally 100% dependent on the United States corporate, political, news media, military, industrial complex, right? So they say it outright that they maintain Israel for the purpose of what they call stability in the Middle East. Well, I'm not so sure it is, but I'm not going to get down that road. That's a long history and different, it's basically different thought experiments about what would happen if Israel wasn't there. I could go through a list of possible scenarios, and I'm sure a lot of other people could, but we don't know. We're at this point now where Israel's in this quagmire now with Gaza. It's not going to go away, and other countries will have to get involved. They'll be dragged into it, as I've said in other videos. So that point that he's making is spot on. Israel is a pawn in the American and Western, especially American, Western, NATO, political, corporate, military, media, news media, tied right in there. They're all integrated without any chance of untangling themselves. That complex. So now we know that. Please, everybody who's talking about this, whenever you talk about it, please say that. This is not Israel against Palestine, or Israel against Gaza, or Israel against Arabs. It's the US trying to control the oil and the gas in the Middle East. And if they go after that, anyone remotely related to the US, like a US corporation or an Israeli corporation or any ally of the US, a corporation from any country that sells that oil to the US military or to even just to the US, then we know if they go after that oil in Gaza. I don't think they will, but it's a possibility that that's what they're after. And also Israel doesn't want Gazans to have a port on the Mediterranean. They've shut it down for decades. I think there's only one port, maybe two, in Gaza. They've blockaded it for decades. So that's the point here, is think about the fact that Israel is a pawn. That doesn't make them innocent. However, and definitely Netanyahu is not innocent. He's a war criminal. And so are all the ones that supported him. And many times over. Maybe some of the Gazans are too, or the Hamas, yeah, maybe. But just remember that Hamas is not against Jews or Judaism. That's another big lie going around. There were not 40 babies with their heads chopped off. There was not half these other atrocities where, the festival was a lot of crossfire. It's now coming out that Israel, in its panic, shot people. And I'll make another video about that, real 2-minute video, because that is an interesting little thought experiment. regarding some of what happened on October the 7th. In the meantime, don't forget, Israel is a pawn. I mean, we have to think of it that way. It's a pawn in a giant geopolitical game, of which the US is very much a belligerent. What would happen if there was no Israel? Well, we can go into that in another video. You tell me in the comments or elsewhere what you think would happen if there'd never been an Israel and it was let's say just a Palestine, right? Whatever form that government took. What would have happened? Well, it'd be interesting to think it through, but no historian or expert could parse out what would have happened. The point is this is where we are now. We have offered, we have shown Israel leaders, politicians, etc., solutions to this. They've ignored it, and now you're in this quagmire. You're not getting out of that. You're delusional if you think that you're coming out of that. Yeah, even if Gaza gives back all the hostages and you agree to a ceasefire, which I hope that happens, negotiations between top leaders in Hamas, if they're still alive, or anyone in Gaza, negotiations and ceasefire, yeah, return the hostages, all that, it's still a quagmire for decades to come. You've created thousands of new jihadists from all the people in the families, young people, maybe like 14, 15, just be turning into men and young women at this time, and others, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, who you killed their daughters, you killed their sons, you blew the heads off their babies, you killed their families. So they're coming for you, and who can blame them, really? To be honest, I would. If you did that to me, I think I would. Even if I knew I wouldn't win, I'd want to strike back. So you're going to have a lot of strike back, blowback as the CIA calls it. So you've messed up. Your only way out of this is to keep listening to me. And if Israel can listen to me or someone a lot like me, but maybe a bit nicer than me, but can actually listen to them, because I don't think they'll listen to the nice people who talk about the solutions. They need to be told what to do. So yeah, sorry, it sounds arrogant, but they don't know what they're doing. Nobody does. And we have the solutions, and we're gonna show it pretty soon, actually. All peaceful. Not demonstrations or anything like that. That's a waste of time. You're going to see a absolutely unique solution, peaceful, non-invasive, evidence-based, scientifically validated in 50 studies around the world over decades. It works, and that's it. Israel could have done it and solved all this a long time ago. But the name of Israel is too sectarian. Israel is now in a quagmire. I don't know where this goes. Bye for now.